Welcome to City Times. Here we bring you transfer news, match updates, and inside training information fast and reliable. Join our football family and like, comment, share and subscribe for daily updates. Breaking news ahead of a massive night at the Etihad and Manchester City are walking into chaos. 15 players could miss this Carabao Cup semi-final. Injuries, suspensions, registration issues. And suddenly, a tie that looked finished feels anything but. City have one foot at Wembley. They beat Newcastle 2-0 at St James Park. Professional, controlled, ruthless. But everything since then has raised alarms. Pep Guardiola's squad is stretched. Newcastle are wounded too. And momentum, that's shifting. City come into this game still angry, still frustrated, still replaying what happened in North London. They were 2-0 up at Tottenham, cruising. Then it collapsed. 2 goals conceded, 2 points dropped, and a wave of referee controversy that refuses to go away. Now attention turns to who might not even make it onto the pitch. Ryan Cherki is a doubt. Knock picked up against Spurs. Pep says it's touch and go. Mark Guehi won't play at all. Not injured, just not registered in time for the semi-final. Ruben Dias is back in training, but after a month out, this game likely comes too soon. And that's just City. Newcastle arrive battered after a 4-1 defeat at Anfield. Confidence shaken, but belief still alive, especially with City wobbling. And then there's the backdrop nobody can ignore. Pep Guardiola has had enough. He says he respects referees, but his patience is gone. Penalty shouts waved away. Offside decisions by millimetres. VAR reviews lasting minutes. Rodri exploded after Spurs. Foden denied penalties. Doku caught again and again. Similar challenges, different outcomes, no explanations. Pep wants answers. From VAR, from Howard Webb, from the system. He's already been booked, already banned once. And you can feel it boiling. This semi-final isn't just about Wembley anymore. It's about control, about discipline, about whether City can shut out the noise. Newcastle will sense it. They'll press. They'll believe. City have the lead, but they're short on bodies, short on patience, and surrounded by controversy. One bad decision, one injury setback, one moment of chaos, and suddenly everything changes. This is no longer routine. This is a test of nerve. And by full time, we'll know is Manchester City heading to Wembley or standing on the edge of another storm. Breaking news out of the Etihad. Manchester City's transfer machine is printing money again. And this time, it's the academy leading the charge. City have already banked a huge £27 million from Oscar Bobb's move to Fulham, a player they signed at 16. A pure profit deal, and it might only be the beginning. While City spent big this January, £82.5 million on Antoine Semenyo and Mark Guehi, this window was never about panic. It was about timing, opportunity, planning ahead. As new faces arrive, the conveyor belt keeps moving. 3 more academy exits have quietly been locked in, and each one could pay off in a big way. First, Mahamadou Sissoko, nearly a decade in City's system, now heading to Turkey with Kocaelispor. The fee starts at just over £340,000, but here's the key. Performance bonuses, a 40% sell-on clause, a buyback option, matching rights. City aren't letting go, they're investing. Then there's Justin Oboawoduo, City from under-9s all the way through. Now Juventus, officially a free transfer but with performance clauses worth up to £2.6 million if he breaks through in Italy. Another long play. Seb Naylor is next, another academy lifer. Championship move to Bristol City, free transfer on paper. But City keep 25% of his next sale. If he explodes, City cash in, and there could be more before the window shuts. Even Stefan Ortega's departure might bring in up to £500,000 through appearance-based bonuses at Nottingham Forest. This is what modern squad building looks like. Buy smart, sell smarter, protect the upside. Manchester City aren't just winning on the pitch, they're winning the Future One Academy deal at a time. Zvera Nupan returns to Manchester City as Middlesbrough loan move. Cut short Manchester City midfielder, Zvera Nupan made 21 appearances for Middlesbrough during his loan spell at the Riverside Stadium. Manchester City have recalled Zvera Nupan from his loan spell at Middlesbrough. The 19-year-old joined the North East club in the summer transfer window, but struggled to make an impact for the Championship side in the first half of the season. Nupan did not play a full 90 minutes for Boro during the 6 months he was at the club. He started just 3 matches in total for the club before returning to City on transfer deadline day. City confirmed Nupan's return in a short statement on Monday morning. The club wrote, "He will now return to Manchester, where his development will be overseen by Pep Guardiola and the City first team staff." City have given the teenager the number 41 shirt for the remainder of the campaign. Nupan came on as a substitute in the last 10 minutes of Boro's 3-1 FA Cup third-round defeat to Fulham, but he will still be able to represent the Blues in the competition. Previously, players were only allowed to play for one club in the FA Cup in a season, but those rules have since been relaxed. Now, a player can play for 2 clubs in the competition without being cup-tied. This means Nupan could play for City in the FA Cup 4th round when City hosts Salford. Nupan could also be used in the Carabao Cup, having not featured at all in the competition this season. Confirming Nupan's exit, Middlesbrough wrote, "The youngster started just 3 games and had found opportunities limited. We'd like to thank Sver for all his efforts and wish him all the best for the future." Manchester City get double injury boost as Pep Lijnders sets Arsenal target. Manchester City assistant Pep Lijnders spoke of what they need in the title race, with good news on the injury front. Ruben Dias will return to training next week for Manchester City, as Pep Lijnders outlined what the team need to chase down Arsenal in the Premier League title race. Dias could be available to face Liverpool as early as next Sunday, with positive news as well on Jeremy Doku. Doku provided 2 assists to help City beat Galatasaray in the Champions League in midweek, but was forced off in the first half with another injury. The Belgian winger was making his first start since suffering a problem to his knee in the Manchester derby, but had to come off. Pep Guardiola said after that game that he hoped Doku would be fit again when they returned to Champions League action in March, and the diagnosis on Friday was even more positive. While City will do their best to ensure Doku gets the rest he needs, he could be back in time to face Salford in the FA Cup or Newcastle in the Premier League.